In this episode, I get the pleasure of spending some time with the delightful Tara. As a regional trainer, Tara spends tons of time helping new starters on their journey to fully fledged fundraisers. Tara shares her wisdom and insights on fundraising as a profession, as well as what she gets up to on a daily basis. I find out what motivates Tara and which charity she would most love to see us supporting next. We hope you'll enjoy learning about another one of our incredible team here at Charity Link, professional, ethical and passionate fundraisers. Hello and thank you to the lovely Tara for joining me today for this interview. She is the regional trainer for Charity Link Central Region, and she has kindly taken some time out of her busy schedule to share a little bit more about the role and how she feels about working for Charity Link and all of the good stuff. So without further ado, welcome Tara. Hello, and how are you today?
Thanks Mel. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really, really good. So tell me a bit about the role of the regional trainer in a nutshell, if you were to kind of say it in a sentence.
Okay, regional trainer. We train the new starters in their first 12 weeks with Charity Link, which is called the Academy.
That was succinct, short but sweet. Love that. And what about your wider team? Have you who does what? What's your role? And
so, as you mentioned, I'm part of the Central Region. So I have my colleague Emma, who's part of the North Region, and the other regional trainer. At the moment, there's just two of us, so she is my team. And the wider team of L&D, Learning and Development, we have the lovely Ollie, who heads the induction and all other good webinars and learning and development stuff. And in the central team, I also work with the TMs and AM on a weekly basis.
And you can catch many of those interviews with the lovely Ollie and a couple of team members over on the blog.
Lovely.
So a little plug there. Tell me about what kind of things you get up to on a daily basis.
Ooh, the thing about my job is that definitely every day is very different. To give you an idea, most of my week I'll be in the field, so I'm field based, and I will be somewhere in the vicinity of the Central Region. So that's under the team managers Dave Hill, Maurice Wiggins and Tom Redfern. So I'll be seeing their new starters who are in Academy. Some of them might be due for a review. So every 4 weeks of the Academy, a new starter would get a review. So I sit down with often me and the TM, and we go through what we call the performance framework. This is an opportunity for us to identify what's going well and set some goals for going forward in the performance and behaviours, etc. I also would visit to observe or fundraise with new starters too.
This is when you do a bit of pitching yourself.
Yes. Usually at the beginning of their academy journey, I will do a lot more fundraising myself, and then further on through academy, do much more observation, because by that stage, the new starters should have a better idea what they're doing. And sometimes I still will jump in to give an example, or if they were unsure about how to respond, they would turn to me to take over. But a lot of it is reflection, and we'll discuss afterwards what went well. Similar to any review, it's all about discussion and reflection.
And so have you gotten a bit of a nose for it now? Do you see some people and think you are a natural and you're going to do really well? Does anybody surprise you?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Or is it just so unpredictable?
It's a bit of a mix. We look for obviously certain behaviours and attitudes and professional expectations, all the good stuff. But I think something that is really enjoyable about what I do is that everyone is completely different. So everyone has a different learning style, everyone has a different work experience from before, and everyone's starting from a different place, if that makes sense. And it will have different quirks about them, which means certain things might be more difficult to overcome or really easy. And that's what I think makes each day so different, is because there is no there is some correlations between people, but not enough to be 100%. That's the
Keeps you on
fundraiser.
your toes though,
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm always learning. I'm always learning.
which
Most
is
of yeah.
which is a great example for when you, I think if you are teaching in any format, it's really good to always be open
Mm.
yourself to being a student, because then you're
Oh
always
yeah.
empathetic to their experience, as well as, finding new ways to communicate that information.
I'm often learning from the fundraisers mostly as well, because they'll come out with something that after after working with so many people I've never still not heard before. They'll have a new thing to say in their pitch, or a funny comment that I think lands really well, and then I can go and share it with others too.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and yeah,
golden
I love that.
nuggets, golden
Yes,
little golden
golden
nuggets. So
nuggets.
it's like, oh, I like that. I like what you did there.
Yeah, I've got my
So
notebook always.
totally scribble it down, take it. So what are the biggest challenges that you tend to come across in your role?
Challenges. So I like challenges, but I say the biggest one most often is logistics. Um, who's working where? Who can I see? Who's due for review? Um, it's like it's so reactive. Um, and Central is so big, so if I need to see someone here, I need to make sure it makes sense. And how am I going to get to this person over here? Maybe I can also see this person here on that day, but they're not working that day. So it's a
Do
lot
you,
of
when you,
logistics.
so you're spending a lot of time traveling in your car? Are you a master of podcasts, or do you find you're on a lot of calls,
Oh,
or do you listen to
it's
the
mostly
radio?
taken up by calls. Um, Intermittently between calls, I'll listen to some podcasts or the news, try to catch up on what's going on. Um, a bit, I love music, so I with music, got a CD player. Had a fundraiser lend me some CDs recently, so thank you to them.
A
Um,
CD player, that is old school. Keeping it
yeah,
real, Tara.
very much so. I'm open to anything. I'm open to anything. So
So
yeah.
you've mentioned that you work a little bit with L&D, which is the
Mhm.
lovely Ollie,
Yes.
and then you've working with the team managers as well, who obviously are part of that learning and development journey for new
Mhm.
fundraisers. Is there any other departments in the company that you spend time with, or rely upon to do your role, or do your
Gosh, I
job?
mean, everyone to put it blankly, I think supports each other, even if it's from a distance. I think I have interacted with every department at least via email, but mostly I think client services, field support, HR, yourself, um, along with the TMs and AM on a more regular basis. But absolutely everyone, they're so lovely and helpful, and I'm always grateful for any
we're
help they give me.
we're very
Um,
cross-departmental kind of a bunch. I think
yeah,
that everybody,
yeah,
having done these interviews with other departments now, it is just all very intertwined, and there's a lot of communication going on
so
all the
much.
time, little networks and
Yeah, I'm
alive.
so field based, so I do often I'm in my little central bubble of training, and then I'll get this opportunity to meet with others, or if there's a Zoom meeting or whatever it is, and that's really a nice add-on. But mostly also the fundraisers I get to see,
Yeah.
um which
Well,
is
and they're
also
the lifeblood, aren't they, really? So
yeah.
you're really, you get to be up close and personal and really get to know them,
Hmm.
which must be, as a head office person, it's, I'm a little bit further back than that, even though I'm communicating. But they are, when I have met them, they really are just genuinely such a great bunch, by and large, really just a type of person that wants to make a difference and is chosen a career path that does exactly that. So they're bound
Hmm.
to be, really nice, and they are. So what motivates you as an individual at work? What gets you up in the morning thinking, yeah, that makes me happy, that keeps me ticking along?
Good question. I'm definitely a very energetic person naturally. You probably know that already, or anyone who's worked with me. um I think I enjoy problem solving a lot. So, and that's a massive aspect of my job. And as you just mentioned before, building relationships and fundraisers, like there's so many just wonderful, gorgeous people that I get to work with, and it's always daunting because you've got to spend a lot of time together, work together collaboratively, and you really just have to build that trust and connection as you do as a fundraiser with a member of public. I have to do that with my fundraisers and the people that I work with, and yeah,
And
I've
not
learned.
even just so that they listen to you and trust you, and that's so that they feel they can reach out and talk to you if something's going
Oh
wrong,
yeah,
and rather than harboring it, and
yeah,
a shared problem is a halved problem kind of thing.
100%. I try to be a listening ear as much as possible, and also be as effective as a trainer also, because like everyone's different, so I have a different approach depending on the person with the same core. Yeah, but that's probably number one. Actually, I'm going to move that to number one, is the building relationships.
I see. Well, it's good to have these things mentally in order. What's your favorite thing about working for Charity Link?
The charities itself,
Yeah.
we have built an incredible relationship with the charities that we represent, and it's long lasting. um I think, and the people are the main thing. Everyone works collaboratively to make this very interesting, quirky, um, what would you call it? Like a turbine turn. It's like yeah, it's a wonderful place to work with, and it keeps every day
I think
interesting.
I think perhaps something that may separate Charity Link from perhaps other fundraising agencies is the training academy, because it's so
Mm,
thorough and because it's been so well thought out, and it's got so many kind of different stages that are designed specifically to nurture and help the fundraisers grow and
mm,
learn at the same time and feel as confident as possible. It feels like it's the best platform from which to go forward. I know sometimes, I think in the old days, fundraising was very much like you got your 1 day or half day training and it was off you go, sink or
yeah.
swim. And now it's just a really professional, tight process that is as I say, designed
That
for
would
success.
set us apart, I think, definitely, from the others. If I was comparing to another agency, it would be the depth of training, the support, etc. Um, and still the relationship with the clients. And I think everyone has a part to play in that too. The fundraisers, obviously client services, but also like as the training and
Well, and
you know
that level of sort of or that importance that's stressed on compliance is
mhm,
one of the reasons our relationships with the charities are so good, is so strong, because the
yeah,
charities, we've won that trust, and the charities know that the fundraisers we deliver for them are going to be compliant and represent them in the best way, and that is really, really priority for them. Given the struggles that charity sector have had, and chuggers as they're known, charity fundraisers have had that reputation for a long time, is
yeah,
trying to kind of improve that dramatically.
100%. If I could change something about the industry itself, it would be that. It would be, that reputation, because I know, especially from seeing not just new starters but experienced fundraisers in the field, like they're just generally so passionate and incredible at what they do. It's a skill. It's not easy, and they do them incredibly proud. And I wish that the public could ignore every other experience they had and just take, a charity fundraiser for who they are, and that experience, and not.
All fundraisers, because really, there's nobody as you say, it's a simple job, but it's a
Mm,
really tough job. It looks easy, but it's 100% not. It's really, you have to have such a specific personality type.
mhm.
You're not just a salesperson. You have to be really resilient. You have to be really invested and passionate about the charity, and almost like your own coach, and be able to talk yourself around when you're having that rubbishy day and you're having constant no's, and it's that
Oh yeah.
drive to just go, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going out there and keep asking and keep being motivated. And that is I just think that's a really rare and difficult, it's something that somebody's either, I think, got or not got. So going back to how wonderful we all are at Charity Link, if you could give 3 awards to any 3 people in the business, which awards would you give and who would you give them to?
Goodness, everyone deserves an award, really.
Well, obviously.
Gosh, I'll have to give one to Emma Watson. Best teammate award. Yeah, she's miles away from me. I mean, she lives in Leeds, I'm in Cardiff. But I think our biggest support to each other. Sounding board, we challenge each other, we work really well as a team, and we really try to push ourselves to think positively about the challenges too. So I'm very grateful for her, and she's just an incredible human being, so she just deserves all the awards.
She is. We were just saying before the interview started about what a proactive and get the job, no nonsense, fair-minded worker, diligent, positive attitude person, and she's just one of those. She's the winner.
Yeah, she is.
So going back a little bit to the fundraising or the fundraisers that you work with, what's the most common question that you get from them?
Oh goodness, loads of questions all the time. I think if it's training based, it's a lot of how to overcome this. This was the specific situation, what would you do? But as you know, what you just said, like this job, especially at the beginning when you're learning something new, it's tough on the mindset. So that belief can come in waves. And what I always encourage the new starters to do is pick up the phone. So don't sit and wallow and let it build up. Pick up the phone. We can talk it through. And that's a few words of encouragement. Remind them what's going well, because there'll be so much. What we do as humans is straight away what's not working, what's the negatives. It's so easy to do and be hard on ourselves. And sometimes you're out there on the field, maybe you hadn't worked with someone else that week, so you didn't have that person to bounce off, you didn't have that soundboard or anything like that. So that's why it's so important for fundraisers to pick up the phone. And I always say, you can say anything.
Yeah, as you say, it can be quite an isolating role. Like, they're working on their own, and if you're just constantly having people say no to you for 4, 5, 6 hours, even you can totally understand why that would become demoralizing, and you start thinking about, right, this is no good. No,
people are hard on themselves, really hard. Like I said, especially people with a lot of experience. It's like you're still coming into a new role, a new company, a new campaign, and it's okay. It's a learning process, and we're not we can just learn from every day.
Just cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
So are you seeing, out on the field, that's you've said is a large part of your job. Are you noticing any impacts of the cost of living crisis? Is this something that you're seeing anybody kind of giving reasons of, like, just haven't got the money right now?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, it's hot topic. It's even people who are signing up are mentioning it, not just as I guess also an understanding of that the charities would be struggling too with it. But yeah, it's a very common objection, and it's one that our fundraisers are really understanding about. I would say that there is always a current affair or situation in the news that will affect our fundraisers or become a very common objection, and it's about whether or not it's just a no and they don't know how to say no, or it's genuine, like, I can't. Because there's always going to be something in the news, whether it be Brexit, whether it be there's so many things. So I
actually read the other day that they are considering sort of just saying, look, how much can you afford, as opposed to a set amount. We do specific campaigns where we are asking for a specific donation every month. That regular giving is enabling our charities to predict their income for the rest of the year, and they can make plans to to open new projects or to continue the good work they're doing. But they are getting to the point now where it's like, look, we'll take what we understand. Everybody's up against it right now. as are the charities themselves. You know, their energy prices and their rents and their costs of their staff and things like that are all increasing too, and the demand on their services is also increasing. So it's getting more difficult, I think, as time is going on. And, you know, with the reports that energy bills are going to go up again in the new year, you know, it's a worry for, I think, the whole charity sector. Understandably, lots of charity bosses have already been surveyed and said, you know, this is a genuine worry for us. We've already dipped into our reserves. We did so during the pandemic, and, you know, we're trying to we really need to replenish those. But at the moment, we're just living off of those. You can see why lots of smaller charities have shut down too. So the donors are more important than ever, but they too are struggling. You can see how it could quickly become, you know, a spiral.
Yeah, definitely. But what I think the fundraisers do so well is to not focus on that.
Yeah.
They focus on, you know, getting those effective conversations in, you know, the person in front of me, what they're saying, reading between the lines sometimes, asking open questions, because sometimes it might not be the case, or it really is. And if they're open to listen, and build that desire, if someone can, then they will. And you know, they know that if someone says they can't, then that's just it. That's the situation, and it's not for them today.
And I think really, even though, yes, times are really, really tough, there are, you know, hopefully more people that can afford £2 a month or £3 a month or £5 a month. You know, that isn't a game changer luckily for still quite a few people.
We're definitely still getting the guesses. So, you know,
I can't remember what you said earlier. In fact, was it not? My next question you've already answered, cheeky monkey, which was if you had a magic wand, what would you change for the charity sector? And you've said it would be the reputation of the fundraisers. You would just whitewash it and start again, and that, I guess have a fresh perspective from the public, kind of a new invested kind of, I don't know, sense of, wow, you're actually doing something to try and make a difference, rather than, oh, you're trying to get my money and you're robbing me, or whatever their assumptions are. It's that bias is very difficult to fight, especially when you have the media, you know, throwing their oar in all the time.
So I think if people gave it an opportunity and spoke to people, which they do, because, you know, our fundraisers are incredibly engaging, but some people will write it off. And actually, if you learn about it, if you speak to somebody who's passionate and they can put across the message, the campaign, why there is a need, you know, someone said to me recently, it's you give someone the opportunity to be kind today, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's like, that's what you're giving to someone. They're going to be really kind today, and that person's going to feel amazing about themselves. And that's what we do. Is like, you consolidate that person, you make sure they know, hey, you've just gone out your way to support this cause. It is incredible.
And of course it's not just about the money, although we are trying to solicit the donations. We do want the money, but at the end of the day, it's also about raising awareness. It's also about you know, potentially inspiring somebody even just to go onto a website of a charity and sign a petition, or, you know, wear it Pink Day for Breast Cancer Now, or, you know, have a coffee morning and with a few friends from Macmillan. You know, there are lots of different opportunities to support charities, even volunteering. So it doesn't, you know, even if the fundraiser doesn't get the donation, they still may have subliminally done something good and left an impression and made a mark for the charity.
No shadow of a doubt. You know, if someone wasn't wanting to sign up then and there, by all means, I'm sure like the websites would get a lot more traffic due to the impression that our fundraisers made. 100%.
Yeah. So we have arrived at the final question, Tara, which is difficult to believe, but you know, time flies when you are having fun. If you could choose our next charity partner, so we know that Charity Link are involved with Dogs Trust and Guide Dogs. We've had extremely long-standing relationships with them. We've also a partnership with Breast Cancer Now, as I've mentioned, and also Macmillan. Our newest client is PDSA, a veterinary charity. So aside from them, who would you support and why?
Gosh, there's so many.
There are.
I think the one that comes to my mind, funny enough, is Mind.
Mind.
Mind. It's a charity that I think are incredible. They've definitely helped some close people in my life, and I'm very happy that mental health is coming into conversations and is so slowly but surely becoming normalized and listened to and taken seriously, no matter how severe you are dealing with it. And I think that as a charity, I know they are severely overrun. They do an incredible job with the resources that they have. So I would love to be part of that. Part of that work, part of that journey to get more resources for them. And definitely, I think that it's a really important charity.
Yeah, I agree. I think they and the Samaritans and any charity that is involved with really supporting people through crisis and through those types of struggles, it's so difficult to. I think everybody at some point in their lives needs mental health support because of how unpredictable and how overwhelming life can get, and having those resources, and now, as you've said, an open conversation that's allowing people to feel more confident to step forward and say, I need help. That's really a game changer 100%. In our whole society.
It'd be so different comparably to like the other charities too. I think that'd be interesting, and as I like it, a challenge. So,
I mean, that's I think you might be the first person to have come forward with with Mind. But I agree, it is a wonderful charity, and I hope they get the support that they need. But that is the end of our wonderful interview together. Well, maybe I hope it was as wonderful for you.
It was wonderful. I love getting to talk to you, Mel. I don't mind. I'll give compliments to anyone.
That really, that makes me feel really special. I'm kidding. So thank you so much again, and we will definitely hook up soon. I wish you a wonderful afternoon, and I will look forward to sharing this podcast and blog and video far and wide so they can see your awesomeness. Thank you, Tara, and have a lovely day. Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Daily Fundraise. We hope you enjoyed the session, and we really look forward to you joining us next time.